So you think you have a bad boss? Well, let me tell you a story about a guy who had a boss that made his life a living hell, and how he got his revenge in the most epic way possible, by following the rules to the letter. And it is a story that will make you laugh, cry, and cheer for the underdog. Welcome back to Legal Verdict Daily, and welcome to r/MaliciousCompliance, where we dive into the crazy world of people taking the rules and turning them on their heads. And today we have a story that is so good it is like a movie. Smash like and subscribe for more amazing stories. This is my granddad's story from the late 60s to early 70s in England. He was a hard worker, but he was always disrespected and underappreciated, especially by his direct supervisor, who loved power trips. The company's decision to send a small group of workers to Germany to learn about the new machine, while leaving my granddad behind, speaks volumes about their lack of investment in key staff. The fact that he learned it just by watching the installers' highlights, their poor training practices. Yeah, because what's a better way to motivate your employees than to send their coworkers on a 3-month trip to Germany? While they're stuck back home doing the grunt work, it's not like my granddad felt left out or anything. The company buys this complex computerized machine from Germany that ran on physical pegs and wires. When my granddad got married, he needed a home mortgage that required £44 a week, but he was only making 22. When he asked his boss for a small raise, his boss bluntly told him no. Refusing a raise to a skilled worker who keeps your core machinery running when he only asks for fair living wages is a prime example of corporate greed and poor middle management. The contrast between the £22 a week my granddad was making and the £48 a week offered by his friend's delivery company highlights a massive pay disparity and total failure of internal wage progression. My granddad goes up to his boss and asks, "Sir, who do I give this 2-week notice to?" The boss, playing a power play, leans over my granddad, puffing pipe smoke directly into his face, and says in a low voice, "You hand that to me. You understand, I'm the boss here. I'm the most important." The image of the boss leaning over my granddad, puffing smoke into his face, is a degrading symbol of workplace bullying. It is a sad reminder of how toxic management used to treat dedicated workers. Oh, great! Because nothing says strong leadership like blowing pipe smoke into your employee's face. The boss was so busy acting like a tough guy that he didn't bother reading the notice or logging it with HR. My granddad hands in his 2-week notice directly to his boss, who tucks it in a drawer and ignores it. On my granddad's very last day, the upper factory manager walks up to him and asks about the machine setup for next week. My granddad calmly replies that today is his last day. The upper manager turns ghost. Why does he realize the middle manager never informed anyone? Never cross-trained a replacement and let the only operator walk out the door. Imagine being the general manager and finding out your company's most critical German machine is about to be completely abandoned because your middle manager wanted to flex his ego. 2 months after my granddad started his new job, making double the pay, 2 wires on the German machine got swapped by accident. Because nobody else understood the peg layout, the entire production line ground to a halt, costing the company thousands in lost revenue and emergency repair fees. This is the ultimate fallout of employer negligence. They refused to give a skilled worker a tiny wage increase, and it ended up costing them tens of thousands of pounds in total downtime. In the end, my granddad got his dream home, doubled his salary, and got to watch from afar as the company learned the ultimate lesson in malicious compliance. User DevLegion commented that their dad was an engineer who dealt with similar bosses, noting that tripping managers rarely last once senior executives see their financial damage. User N112 questioned if this was true malicious compliance or just self-preservation in reality, strictly adhering to the boss's demand to hand the notice only to him perfectly bridges self-preservation with textbook compliance. Yeah, because what's more satisfying than following your boss's exact orders to hand him the paper and then watching the whole factory collapse under his incompetence? From a legal perspective, this story highlights key person dependency and employer failure in risk management. Employment law requires clear notice protocols, but when management fails to act on notice, the liability rests entirely on the employer, not the departing worker. It is empowering to see how understanding contractual obligations protects workers once notice is served in accordance with supervisor instructions. An employee has zero legal obligation to ensure the company trains a successor. It is unfortunate that many workers still face unappreciative managers today, but this story shows why knowing your rights and having the courage to leave is essential. The legal verdict on this case is clear. Granddad was 100% in the right, both contractually and ethically. The middle manager breached fiduciary duties to his company by concealing critical staffing changes out of spite. This case sets a classic precedent in workplace ethics. Never underestimate the person who keeps your operational core running. While it is disappointing that toxic behavior existed in the workplace then and now, justice prevailed through the natural consequences of incompetence. Here are 3 actionable takeaways from this story. First, always know your market value and do not be afraid to look elsewhere if your current employer refuses fair compensation. Second, document all notices and formal communications. Following explicit instructions from your direct superior protects you legally when management chaos erupts after your departure. And third, if your boss demands you follow his orders to the letter, do it. Nothing teaches a toxic boss a lesson quite like giving them exactly what they asked for. Thanks for watching this episode of Legal Verdict Daily. If you enjoyed this story of epic malicious compliance, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more breakdowns. Drop a comment below telling us about the worst boss you have ever had and how you handled it. Remember, know your worth, protect your rights, and never let a toxic work environment hold you back. See you in the next episode.